Alright guys, welcome back to game number 5 here between Quantic IM and between, of course, Mouse Esports in the grand finals of Team Arena Challenge. And like I said before, this is for $6,000 and $3,000. The way the tournament works is it's a Winners League based format, and the team throws up a player. If they get eliminated, they have to throw up another player while the other team's player stays on. And it looks like Quantic IM's Horror will continue to stay on. He's a red Zerg over here on the right-hand side. He defeated Mana in the last game, quite convincingly, I might add. Now he's going to be facing, though, Thorazane. And it's time, baby. I guess they saved the big guns for last. And if you guys watched the first set last week when I uploaded it, Thorazane went 5-0, and he crushed every single player from Quantic IM, including, I believe, Horror. So we'll have to see if Horror is going to be able to get some revenge here or not. And I just looked up Thorazane's statistics here. He is actually 55 against Zerg and 60 against everything else. So to me, it's a little surprising that they decided to throw up Thorazane when they do have other players in their lineup. But Thorazane is their last best player. So it makes sense here for him to just come in and try to roll through and end this series no matter what. So we'll have to see if this is going to work or not. Thorazane on the left-hand side, he's a Teal Terran. And Mr. Marcus, who you will have to see if you can do it or not. Get it back in shape and go for another all-kill. Barracks is on the way now with conjunction with that supply depot. And no doubt he's going to finish that wall off with another one. The drone is making its way over, though. So Horror will get a scout inside the main. Yes, it will. I thought the SCV was actually going to build a supply depot there. But no, the drone allowed inside it will see the one gas here. So at the very least, our Zerg player won't think it's a 1 Rax gasless expand, and he is going to go ahead and throw up the 15 hatchery, which, you know, no surprise there on this map, and given the locations and the matchup, a 15 hatch is very, very common. And I like what he's actually trying to do here. If you guys haven't seen this before, Huck was the one who kind of pioneered this, where it can actually prevent the SCV from mining the mineral patch by telling the drone to mine it first, because of obviously every mineral patch can only be mined by 1 worker at a time. And he also went for the closest mineral patch to try to disrupt the cloning of 2 workers that Thorazane has put on the closest one. So a lot of players will do that from time to time. One guy that comes to mind, I don't know if you guys remember Dopa, my old friend in StarCraft 2. He does that to me all the time whenever I play with him. But here's the barracks on the way. It looks like we have a Reaper opening, and a lot of Terrans do like to do this little Reaper opening. But it's unlikely a bunker is going to come up here because the creep has already begun its expansion. And I don't see any bunker coming up to be a big threat, especially with the Zerglings out on the way. In fact, 8 Zerglings coming out here from Yoda. And, excuse me, not Yoda, from Horror. And we'll have to see if that's going to be enough to deal with this Reaper. Most likely it will be, as long as the Reaper stays off the creep. And that's all that the Zerg really wants to do right now, keep the Reaper away from the base. It's no threat down here, it's just a threat when it's on the creep. So a little bit of back and forth mechanics right there. But that Reaper, if it jumps up, it will die. It's actually going to run into the natural, but a Queen is there, so the Reaper opening really doesn't work out too well, but that's not what it's meant to do. It's just meant to scout and use that tech lab to add onto the factory so that they can go into mech production. And sometimes some Terrans will go right into Blue Flame Hellion, or sometimes they'll go right into siege tanks. We'll just have to see. He's actually adding on a macro CC here. And I guess sometimes Terran players will do that. A macro CC, sure, why not? And if you guys don't know what a macro CC is, essentially, it's just an orbital inside your base that you use to mule down and build more SCVs. And eventually you lift it off and make it your third, but it gives you such a huge boost in economy. But it is important to note that with a macro CC, you are extremely vulnerable to Baneling busts, to Roachling all in, anything like that, you can die. And I do apologize here. It looks like it was a reactor on the barracks, on the factory, and a tech lab on the barracks. So we are probably going to see the biomech play that we usually see from Terran players. No fast upgrades from the tech lab or anything like that, and no fast, super fast mech at least. Not when you consider Hellions, they're not really super fast mech. There's just basic scouting units. But yes, the natural is now down, and it looks like that macro orbital is on the way. Now, here's the thing. Horror doesn't have any overlords really close by to see that orbital command. Usually a Zerg will keep one down here. He doesn't have one there, so he has no idea that there's an orbital coming up, and if he did, I would imagine any type of all-in aggression like what he did in the last game against Mana would pretty much win him this battle. Now, he does have a Roach Warren coming, and he did just make 8 Zerglings. If he just goes all out, mass Roaches and Zerglings right now, he would actually, in my opinion, just straight up win this game. Will he do it or not? He's actually got plenty of supply capacity, and he's saving up a lot of money. Oh my god, he just totally counterplayed, just build order countered Thorzane. This is going to be nigh impossible for Thorzane to hold off. I mean, look at his army. He's got 4 Hellions, a tank, no siege mode, a second tank on the way, but really he's going to need Marauders and a lot of Marauders right now, or a lot of SCVs repairing his tanks or something, some combination thereof, but it's actually going to be Roach Baneling here from Horror. Oh, wow. Now I see why he gets his name. Very, very true. This is quite horrific. And he is just making a billion roaches right now, and he is going to blast his way through the front door. Now, because the Hellions are here, they are going to get some kind of a warning scope here. Thorzane sees these roaches. That's a very scary pack of roaches. What is he going to do immediately at his front door? Bunker number 1, bunker number 2. Siege tanks here might want to be recalled back behind the supply depot wall, and I don't know what else he can do really dealing against this many roaches. And now he sees the Banelings coming as well. This could actually just be a straight up build order win because Thorzane went for the macro CC. I don't see any physical way of him holding this off. It would be quite the miracle if he did. Now he's bringing the tanks up to the high ground, but he doesn't have siege mode. He did not research siege mode. That's so critical. Now, yes, he has abandoned the natural. That's exactly what he should do. Abandon the natural. Just, he can float it away, it's no big loss, and just hold down the fort at the front door. But he's going to lose a lot of SCVs here. Oh, the Banelings detonate. Oh my god, they're crashing through. But look at Thorzane target firing the Banelings. That is so smart. Spreading out his units as well. Really mitigating this damage as much as possible. And a Marauder comes out as well. Can Thorzane hold off against this all in? I don't know if he can. The Zerglings are now starting to flood in as well. And there's still too many roaches alive, it looks like. But Thorzane pulls off more SCVs to fend off this attack. If Thorzane holds this off, this would be an absolute miracle. An absolute miracle. And the Zerg production factory is continuing to queue in units into the Terran main. One tank did go down. That is absolutely critical. Thorzane not even bothering to research siege mode. And it actually makes a lot of sense that Horror would all in here. Not because he's the all-in type, but because Thorzane did go for the all-kill in the previous set. So, I guess this makes a lot of sense. But Thorzane is still in this game, guys. Thorzane still has the natural. Plenty of energy to re-meal back up. He has actually re-secured the main. Unbelievably, I would actually say right now siege mode would be super critical. Just invest at 100-100. It will finish in 80 seconds, but it might actually be what you need to save yourself in this game. But what is he producing right now? Just purely Marines, has a Marauder, 2 tanks. I actually think Thorzane just held that off. Unbelievable. Now, he did lose a huge amount of SCVs. Don't get me wrong, guys. 29 workers just went down, and he is basically at half the economy of the Zerg. But that is mitigated by mules. He has 3 orbitals. He has 3, guys. Don't forget. So he actually can re-macro and get back in this game. It's just going to be very hard to do. We'll have to see if what option he takes here. Does he go for some kind of counterplay? Does he re-macro? I would just honestly say re-macro hard right now. Triple meal it up, get your SCVs down, bunker up this front position, get siege mode ready to go. Siege mode is actually halfway done. Now, once siege mode finishes, that changes the entire dynamic of this game. However, I think Horror is totally onto that, guys. He knows siege mode is his biggest threat. And what better way to deal with siege tanks than go right into the air? And he's got a Spire coming right now. It is halfway finished. In fact, more than halfway, 3/4 of the way finished. And he's saving up gas and minerals right now for about, I would say, 8 or 9 Mutalisks once that Spire finishes. Probably 9 here. And does Thorzane have an engineering bay up? Yes, he does. Does he have missile turrets on the way? No, he does not. Now, it's really going to come down to Thorzane either comsatting at the right location or just having the game sense and the wherewithal to realize that Spire could possibly be coming here. Now, I don't know if expanding here is what he wants to do right now. I actually think maybe just keeping the orbital at the back would have been safer, because now by expanding, on this map, these rocks are a vulnerability, and there's no way he can defend multiple locations at once right now with this pitiful army. I actually think he should just hunker down on 2 bases, get those turrets up and running, super macro it up, and get his SCV count back up and running. But he's actually pushing right now. I don't know about this decision. This is a very courageous push right here. And I think his whole mindset here is the Zerg must be macroing. The Zerg must be on 3, maybe 4 bases here. That's why I'm going to grab my third. The Zerg must be on 4 bases at some point. And so I'm just going to push out and poke. But Horror has a lot of Zerglings and a lot of Banelings, and Mutas now coming in for the north. Those tanks are in a lot of trouble. He's got to stim up his Marines. He's got to run the tanks and stim the Marines, but he actually miscontrols his tanks and Marines here, sending the tanks with the same control group, and no! He loses his entire bio and half his mech army in the middle. He is going to fall back into this siege tank here. He's got to get more Marines out on the field right now, otherwise he's just going to lose straight up to these Mutalisks, and that is why I don't think the push out there was well thought of. I don't think it was the right play. Now, can he hold on? He's got enough Marines to actually repel the Mutas, but the Zerglings are coming in, and that distracts the Marines. Marines will have to run back in protection of the SCVs or into the protection of his missile turret, but more Zerglings are coming, and he has nothing to deal with these Zerglings. So Thorazine is just going to GG straight up. Thorazine GG's. Unbelievable, and I think that push right there, maybe just a little bit on the aggressive side, ended up costing him that game. But Thorazine miraculously, guys, I mean miraculously held off that Roach Baneling All-In, considering he went for a macro command center, which the Roach Baneling All-In is designed by its very architecture to defeat any macro CC. Thorazine to hold that off was brilliant, and he was still in that game. So that was a great game, but it looks like Quantic IM in this game 5 is now up 4-1. And that means we are going to go on to a game 6, and things are not looking good for mousesports at all. If they lose one more game, they are out of this tournament, and that would be so upsetting considering the all kill that Thorazine already did. Thorazine is now out. He will not make a comeback. So let's go to game 5, guys. Excuse me, game 6. It's currently 4-1, and let's see what happens. HD signing out.